This video is to show you how to use your scallop trim corner punch and your scallop trim border punch to create squares or rectangles. Now these punches are pretty straightforward when you're doing something that's just all in one row, but when you start to round the corner it gets a little bit more tricky because the measurements are not standard measurements. The measurements I'm going to be telling you today are located on my website, and I will give you that at the end of the video. So, to give you an example, this is a 4 scallop side punch. The measurement to create this is actually a piece of cardstock that is 1 15/16 inches. So again, that's not a standard measurement. This one is actually created just using the corner punch 4 times. But it gets a little more complicated when we start to do something like this. Now this is a 6x9 scalloped paper. And the measurement for this is 2 7/8 by 4 1/4. So here's how it works. First thing you need to know is that once you cut your cardstock, you need to punch your corners first. Now these punches, brand new design from Stampin' Up! This corner punch is available in the Occasions mini catalog right now. This border punch is available in the Celebration catalog. So to start, we're going to punch our corners. Now, the best way to use this is to use them upside down. As you know, this new design has a little locking mechanism so that these can be stored upright, just like that. So you have to push that to unlock it, and then it's ready to go with the punching. It's very easy to punch upside down. What you're going to do is take the paper and line it up right with the edges of your punch. If you push it all the way in, you will not get a consistent punch. So you have to line it up right on the edges of the cutting part of the punch. Punch it out. And by the way, you will need to vacuum when you're done, because this creates a lot of little pieces that are left over. So I'm going to do that with each one of these. Do it on each corner. And there you go. So I have a few extra little pieces, but that's okay because they'll be punched off. So there is my result. Now I promise you this took a lot of practice. Some of the earlier squares and rectangles that I made turned out pretty horrendous. So this is going to take some practice on your part as well. Now at this point you can take your scallop trim border punch. Again, it opens up the same way. It does have some measurements and some guides that are out here on the front side. The problem is we're making one that's a little bit smaller. So there's really no way to line it up. So again, I'm going to use that upside down. And what I'm going to do is just line up, and I hope you can see this on the video, I'm going to line up my scallops. You can see the scallops I've already punched right there with the punching piece. And I'm going to punch that. Okay, so there's my next 2 scallops, and then I have to do it one more time for this example. So, and sometimes they end up being a little bit off, and see, that's exactly what happens. Isn't that lovely? So it takes a little bit of practice. Let's try it again on this side. Try to make it as straight as possible. You would not be pushing this all the way into the bottom as well, because you'd end up cutting off your scallops that you already have. So let's try this one more time. And that one turned out horribly too. Okay, let's keep going. Maybe we can get 1 out of the 4 to turn out right. Oh, that's closer. Let's try one more. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, it is a trial and error kind of thing. It takes a little bit of practice. But eventually you get to the point where you end up with something that looks as nice as this, and then you can mount something else on top of it, stick it down, and you've got a nice layered look with a scallop around the edge. Now, as I mentioned, I have the measurements for all of these different scallop numbers, but I also have included measurements for what you would cut the cardstock to layer on top of this, so you'll have a nice border around it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helpful. Thank you very much. Happy stamping!